Hi guys, I thought I would show you guys my tea inventory today. This is a video I have filmed before but do not have the footage anymore, so I thought I'd refilm. And the reason why I want to do that is because I'm really interested in, first of all, getting rid of all of my bagged tea, and by getting rid of I mean drinking all of my bagged tea, so that I can fully transition my tea collection over to loose leaf. That may sound kind of weird, but when you consider how much tea I have, it's actually difficult, and like a lot of this tea is actually quite old because I'm, for the most part, stopped buying bagged tea a couple years ago, but I still occasionally will buy it now. For those of you who are new here, hi, my name is Jules. This is Vegan Quirks, where I like to talk about everything from veganism and minimalism and being eco-friendly to things like living abroad as an expat in China. Specifically, currently, I am living in Shenzhen. And so if that kind of content sounds interesting to you, feel free to subscribe and watch some more of my videos. But back to my tea collection. I'm going to show you guys all of the tea that I own right now, which has dwindled quite a bit from a couple months ago when I went to show this. And by dwindled, I mean like there are maybe 2 less types of tea than I had then, but it feels like a big accomplishment to me, so I thought I would show it off. And so I'm going to go through all of my tea in my apartment first, and then I also have tea at my office that I will at some point film and add on to the end of this video. So enjoy! So this is where my tea collection lives, and just on the top is where I keep the like bagged tea collection situation. But it has dwindled significantly, so I actually also keep some loose leaf tea in here as well. This container was just a gift that came with a bunch of bagged tea at some point, and so I keep some herbal teas in here. I have this throat coat, which is like a medicinal lemon echinacea. It honestly used to be, still is one of my favorite teas, and I'm really sad to see it go and hoping I can find something that I like the same way once this is gone, that is loose leaf. And then just some random decaf teas, Lipton and some hotel decaf teas that I've accumulated, a couple different things of chamomile, I think. Yeah, all the ones that are left are this same brand, but before I had some other chamomile just hidden in here. Numi brand. I used to like this a lot when I was in high school, college maybe. And these are just 2 Sweet Dreams teas. Bigelow, a pretty popular like cheap brand that I used to buy in the US, but it's basically like a sleepy time type tea. But I have a bunch of other like actual, the like, you know, the bear sleepy time tea. I have a bunch of that, which I will show you guys later. So I'm kind of working through that first because this is not as old. And so here are some of my loose leaf teas. As you can see, some of the containers are the same, and that's because they came from the same place. And they have, let's see, this one is currently got some white tea in it, which I have another bag of that white tea right here. So I have this full container, a container at work you'll see later, and then the rest of this. I've gotten that tea, this is maybe the 3rd bag of that tea that I've used. I got it as a gift from a student at some point. This, I believe, is this organic Nepal black tea. I'm pretty sure that this is still the original tea that was in this container. This came in a set that I got for my birthday or Christmas quite a while ago, and now it just has, let's see if I can open this with one hand. Yes, I'm so talented. It just has a little bit of a rooibos tea that came in a sachet that had like 2 servings, so I just put the other serving in here and we'll use later. And then this one, I believe is, yeah, I believe this is some chai that my friend gave me. Yeah, no longer the original thing in the original packaging, but it is a chai that my friend gave me a while ago from India. Like, she got it when she was in India. So that is my tea box, and now onto my tea collection down here. These are my tea accessories. So I've got this little tea strainer. I'm not going to show you all my mugs, but these things stay in my tea drawer. Oh god, you can see that I wrote things on my hand today. Well, oh well. This is my perfect teaspoon. I don't know. Yeah. My perfect teaspoon that I have, which just is the perfect amount of tea. This strainer comes with a little thing to put it in, and then I have a slightly bigger strainer. I prefer this one. I just think it's a little easier to use, but I will use both of them occasionally. And onto all of the things in here. So a lot of these guys are herbal teas. So across the top here, most of those are herbal teas. This container is just an old, currently empty container. And this is my instant coffee. But let's go through all the teas. So this guy, true to the box, is just an Earl Grey from Twinings. And there's not a whole bunch left in this, but there is a good amount. And I just had 2 tins of this before, and I kept one at work and one at home. I used it mostly at work though, so I put the older one at work because I drink more caffeinated tea when I'm at work than I do when I am not at work. And so yeah, so I found a container of this exact tea last time I was in the US, and I had already had some here in China, so I just brought the second container back here. Sorry for being a little bit silly about this. I realized if I just put everything on my table, it will be better lighting than over there. So I just took everything out. So these are the things that I just showed you. The tea box, all the tea accessories, this tea, like I said, this guy is completely empty, and this is more of that green tea that was in here, and my coffee. And here is the rest of the stuff. And so I know this doesn't look like all that much tea, but I counted it the other day, and altogether it's got to be like more than 200 servings of tea. Probably like quite a bit more than 200 servings of tea. So it's gonna take me a while to actually get through it. This was another tea that I got from a friend. It is just a jasmine tea. It's nothing special. I think she like probably just got it at a supermarket or something. I'm not like the hugest fan of, and you can see there's like this much left. I'm not the hugest fan of jasmine, but I do like it on occasion, and especially I find like it's a little too bitter for me normally, but if I have it with something sweet, then I don't mind it. I'm gonna get back to this one because it is the craziest. Some more herbal bags I'm trying to get through. This is a Bengal spice, caffeine free. So I liked the idea of it because I was like, oh my god, it's chai, but it won't keep me up at night. But I don't like the flavor too much. I've come around to it a little bit. Like I bought this a couple years ago and used like 1 or 2 bags and then just never touched it. And now I'm trying to get through it, and I find that if I either combine it with a black tea, I like it, or I also sometimes will make it, like do it up real nice as a chai, like actually add cinnamon and clove and like some other spices so that it's just a little bit more pleasant. I'm sorry, I'm trying to figure out how to make this lighting not the worst. And so the same, as you can see, the same brand, which this is also the same brand, I think, as the Sleepy Time tea. Wild Berry Singer. Again, don't like this too much. I do like to combine this with black tea to make something that's a little bit like, yeah, like a blackberry tea. I think that works pretty well. This is a rose tea. It's actually literally just rose petals. It's decent. It's another one that's kind of grown on me. I do tend to have a variety of herbal teas just because I, don't always want the same exact one, whereas like I can kind of drink the same black or green tea over and over again. That's not 100% true, but yeah. And so this is green tea that I took out of a container that I have at work that is just a giant, like bigger than this, similar size of green tea that my coworker gave me. And so this is just some of that green tea in a container that used to have green spring tea leaves that my friend got me as a gift when she was in China. So this container is very special, and now it's got extra tea in it. And these are my Sleepy Time teas. So I used to have really old Sleepy Time tea in both of these, and now this one I had taken from out of this box into this one, a Sleepy Time tea that I've gotten since I've been in China, so it's less old, but this still has old Sleepy Time tea. And if you can see, I mean, these are just old tins from a different type of tea I used to buy, and like this one says throat tamer, and this one says, oh no, it used to say something else, or maybe a different container says something else. But these are like, this one is a combination of throat tamer and sinus soother, and I can't tell which one is which when I look at the packaging, so I just kind of have to guess. And then this is just regular sleepy time. So these are the most important things that I'm currently trying to work through, because I would really like to get some nice like herbal nighttime teas and calming teas that are like in a like a loose tea that's in a jar, because I think that would be really awesome, especially something that was a little bit more on the earthy side rather than the flowery side. Like, I think that I might like that a lot. So these are things like I'm not working on this one because these ones are older, but I'm really hoping that I can get through this stuff soon so I can justify getting something else, even though I have all these other herbals. But hey, again, I'm gonna save this one for last because it's a little complicated to explain. This is just a container that I had a gift in. These are some loose teas that I got when I was in Thailand. I got like a package of teas. This is actually just goji berries, but yeah. This tea is absolutely disgusting. This is butterfly pea tea, which tastes like literally nothing but turns a really pretty blue, so I'm kind of just saving it for if there's some time where that's valuable for my Instagram. And this is just jasmine, which again, I have the jasmine green tea here, so I just kind of haven't touched this. But since they're tiny samples, like, I just want to get through them at some point. These are little, like, kind of vacuum sealed packs of green tea. They are the perfect size for like a pot of tea, but when I use them for just a cup of tea, I'll use like a third of it. Oh, I didn't really mention this before, but most of this tea is tea that I haven't bought. Like, I bought, or tea that I bought maybe 4 to 5 years ago. Like, the only tea in here that I've actually purchased within the last maybe 3 years is these teas here. The rest of them have, like, been gift. This is pretty old. This was gifted. These were gifted. These were gifted years ago. This sleepy time tea also is fairly new. And these ones are also, again, like from when I was in college, so well over 3 years ago. So back to these guys. This was part of a set that my friend gave me that's like supposed to be like a single serve loose leaf tea, which at the time she knew I was like into loose leaf teas, but I was more into loose leaf tea for the quality of the tea rather than the environmental aspect. So I don't, you know, like having like one-time loose teas wasn't really a big deal. And they are Darjeeling and Moroccan mint, and I've just kind of, again, just kind of get through these guys eventually. Oh, I don't want to drop this. This was a container that had this like really nice sweet rose tea. So it wasn't just rose, it was like rose and some other stuff, and it was really, really nice. It turned like this beautiful, beautiful pink color. And it was just a birthday gift, and it's not too big, and I used it up, sadly. Okay, and on to my last one, and this is going to be the hardest to explain. This was also a gift, and it is just a white tea, but the crazy part is that it comes with a knife. And the reason for that is because it's a caked tea rather than a loose tea. And there's two. I'm going to take out one of the like patties of tea, but there's two of them. And you can just kind of break them up into pieces and put them in a different jar, but they have the knife to like stab at it. But what's really cool about it is that it's just all like the leaves caked together. And yes, this is like a white tea, but I mean, look at that. Look at how cool it is. Yeah, I just think this is like a really incredible tea, and it tastes quite nice. I've actually, you can't really tell, but I've had a bit of it. Like, there's pieces chunked off here. It's obviously a little inconvenient, so I don't have it as much as some of my other teas. But it's also like a fuck ton of tea, so it's gonna take me forever to get through. So yeah, this is part 1 of my tea collection, and now I'm gonna show you guys part 2, which is the stuff that I keep at my office. So here are my teas at work. So I've just got a couple of bags of tea, and then I've got more of that Earl Grey, and then I have more containers that used to be Earl Grey but are now a green tea and the same white tea that you saw earlier. There it is. And then I have this Pu'er tea, but it was a gift from a student, and it's like little individual like cakes of tea. Yeah. And so yeah, this is my tea drawer number 1 that has a bunch of my tea. Down below, I have more of that same green tea that was in the up above area, and also I had some of that in my tea drawer at home. So yeah, I have a lot of this tea. It's huge. And then I have some tea over here, which was also a gift from a student. You're gonna get to see me struggle a little to get it out. Yeah, so it is just some nice fancy tea, and there are, I think, 5 of these containers in there of all my fancy tea, and so yeah, that's all of the tea I have at work. I just wanted to shoot a quick outro for this video. Yeah, I hope that you enjoyed taking a look at all of my tea. I've got a lot of tea, and I definitely think for me it would be fun for me to kind of like every couple months maybe show how like that's changed. My hope is that my tea collection gets smaller, but there are certain categories that I feel like I'm currently lacking in or getting close to lacking in, so I have a feeling I might get some more tea when I go home for Christmas. I might like getting gifted some tea, but hopefully not too much comes into my collection and more goes out, if you know what I mean. Yeah, I hope you enjoy.